over the last 1 year specifically, given the sheer number of PIT NDPS convictions or say the PSAs on drug peddlers that we've imposed or seizures that we've done, we've come a long way. And that's visible in terms of the overdose deaths or other such issues that are being reported.
नाजरीन, कश्मीर लाइफ में आपका खैर मकदम है। आज की मुलाकात के इस नए शुमारे में हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं चौधरी मोहम्मद यासीन साहब, जो कि डीसी डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुंछ की पोजीशन पे फाइज है। यासीन साहब, आपका खैर मकदम है।
जी, बहुत शुक्रिया।
नाज़रीन, आज की मुलाकात के इस शुमारे में जो भी हमारे सवालात रहेंगे वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुंछ के हवाले से रहेंगे। तो हमारा जो पहला सवाल है यासीन साहब, वो ये है कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुंछ जो है वो एक बॉर्डर डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, बॉर्डर एरिया है। तो वहाँ पे कई ऐसी डेवलपमेंटल नीड्स होंगी या वहाँ कई ऐसे चैलेंजेस होंगे जो आपको फेस करने पड़ते होंगे एज एन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। तो क्या आप हमें बता सकते हैं कि क्या-क्या ऐसे चैलेंजेस हैं जो आपको फेस करने पड़ते हैं और साथ ही साथ कैसे आप उन चैलेंजेस को टैकल करते हैं?
जी, शुक्रिया इस सवाल के लिए। आप जैसे जानते हैं कि पुंछ एक पहाड़ी जिला है और उसके साथ साथ एक एलओसी सिचुएटेड जिला भी। इनफैक्ट वी हैव 107 किलोमीटर ऑफ एलओसी लेंथ। और उसमें भी ज़्यादा ताज्जुब की बात यह है कि तकरीबन 32 ऐसे विलेजेस हैं which are located beyond the fence, beyond the AIOS, anti-infiltration obstacle system. और ये पूरा जिला भी as it is because of the mountainous terrain and lack of prospects like agriculture or market economy faces backwardness. But specifically for the LOC areas, we had issues like cross-border shelling for a very long time, at least which has been settled because of the ceasefire that has been in place for a decade. And apart from that, the major issue since many years has been the influx of foreign terrorists who have further spread across into valley, which our forces are trying hard to uh, counter. And more recently, the initiation of narco terrorism. जैसे आप जानते हैं कि ड्रग्स इज बिकमिंग अ ह्यूज प्रॉब्लम एंड particularly पुंछ में the influx of drugs from across the LOC is resulting in not just our local youth being affected but also soon becoming a transit for other areas. Now, the solutions to these issues are multifarious. With respect to the economic situation, we are trying very hard to ensure that the saturation of beneficiary-oriented schemes in the backward villages and more specifically the border villages and the implementation of the border specific or area specific schemes like जैसे BADP, the Border Area Development Program, or the Seema Samriddhi Yojana, that takes root in a strong manner. Plus, we are trying to encourage people to actively participate in all sorts of market linked practices which they were otherwise not involved in, by encouraging credit linkage to all activities, big or small. With regard to control of drugs, we've seen massive developments. Record number of seizures have happened. The you know people who were responsible for peddling drugs as well as supporting that infrastructure, they've been identified and crushed in a targeted manner. And I can proudly say that over the last 1 year specifically, given the sheer number of PIT NDPS convictions or say the PSAs on drug peddlers that we've imposed or seizures that we've done, we've come a long way. And that's visible in terms of the overdose deaths or other such issues that are being reported.
यासीन साहब, आपने अभी मेंशन किया अपने आंसर में इकोनॉमी के बारे में। तो जो पुंछ की जो आबादी है, तो उनकी जो जराए इनकम है, मतलब वो किस पे डिपेंडेंट है फॉर देयर इनकम?
Poonch is being a hilly district. It's less agrarian and more pastoralist. So
हम्म।
traditionally and still in today's time, काफी ज्यादातर लोग अभी भी एनिमल रेयरिंग पे डिपेंडेंट है। जहाँ पे
ओके।
एग्रीकल्चर पॉसिबल है वहाँ पे क्रॉप्स पे डिपेंडेंट है। बट हमारे जो मेजरली यहाँ ट्राइब्स इनहाबिट कर रहे हैं, either the
हम्म।
Paharis or the Gujars or even the Kashmiris, all of them are actively practicing pastoralism. या
ओके।
तो गाय भैंस पालना या भेड़ बकरी पालना, and that has become that was been the traditional occupation and still is for many people. Of course, with the growth of market economy, many people have diversified into other areas. However, in terms of local products or items which are of great use or value, uh,
हम्म।
pecan nut, I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's a cousin of the walnut and is actually a superfood, and fetches much higher prices than walnut. Happens to be our ODOP, one district, one product, and it's unique to Punch. It's only found here as compared to many other districts. So that is one thing which we are trying to promote people into growing so that they can increase their incomes. That apart, the uh, idea, the fact that Punch is on the crossroads of the Jammu province and Kashmir province on the north side. So
हम्म।
many people are involved in transportation as a business, while
ओके।
a lot of the masses actually migrate as well for employment, either to the other states or even abroad. And
हम्म।
many of them are employed in the armed forces as well.
Sir, as you mentioned about Kashmir and Punch being, on the same route, तो आपसे मुझे ये सवाल पूछना है कि जो मुगल रोड है उसको एज अ बिजनेस कनेक्शन यूज किया जा सकता है, लेकिन जो यहाँ का मौसम है कश्मीर का, तो बर्फबारी की वजह से या खराब मौसमी हालात की वजह से यूजुअली क्या होता है कि बहुत सारे लंबे अरसे तक या बहुत सारे महीनों तक मुगल रोड जो है वो बंद रहता है। तो क्या हम उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि कोई टनल वगैरह, जैसे आजकल सब जगह बनाई भी जा रही है, तो ऐसी कोई टनल वगैरह बनाई जाएगी?
जी बिल्कुल। इनफैक्ट आपने कोई तकरीबन कुछ महीने पहले सुना भी होगा दैट the Rattasam tunnel on the Mughal Road has actually been declared and sanctioned. In fact, Mughal Road itself has been declared as a highway, and the notification by NHAI has also come out, or the preliminary survey work and all has been done. However, this is going to be a very major tunnel, and it will
हम्म।
take a very long time. फिलहाल हम मुगल रोड को, आप जैसे जानते हैं कि सीजनल तरीके से ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, और द स्टैंडर्ड प्रैक्टिस इज दैट वी कीप ऑन क्लियरिंग स्नो till the time it gets too much to clear. And I have served as DC Shopian earlier, so I think I'm very familiar with how to maintain Mughal Road. So we have 41 kilometers here and 41 kilometers in Shopian on either side of Peak Gully. And uh, अंदाजन 25 दिसंबर के बाद we do not have any prospect of restoring daily connectivity via snow clearance. So अभी फिलहाल जैसे 7 दिसंबर है, and since snowfall, we've only been required to clear twice. However, in the coming weeks, particularly for the next 3 weeks, we'll see our operations doubling up until we announce the formal closure. And it's going to remain shut ideally till April end. For instance, last year हमने May 20th को खोला था Mumbai Road, and in some years it's possible to open a bit early also. And this year, in fact, we have made very good use of the road for many reasons. जब NH 144 Ramban was down for some reason, then a lot of traffic was diverted this way. A lot of yatra traffic was also going via Mughal Road for the Pura Amarnath Shrine, and that part many apple trucks from not just Shopian but the entire South Kashmir. Whenever the main Raman highway is choked, then they use the Mughal Road as well. More specifically, the tons of pilgrims who are headed to Shadra Sharif, they use the Mughal Road. And now, over the years, because of growing linkages, many people from the Pir Panjal region and the Kashmir Valley who have either relationships or employment or business in the other regions, they use it on a routine basis. In fact, even today, as we speak, the middle of December, the total number of vehicles, both up and down, is around 600 per day, which is a significant number. And during peak times of the year, it goes into thousands. In fact, on one single day, we had almost 10,000 plus crossings. That has happened as well.
सर आपने अभी मेंशन किया एप्पल्स का कि एप्पल्स वहां से आपने उसके बारे में मेंशन किया, तो मुझे आपसे ये जानना है कि पुंछ जो है वहां पे जो कैपेसिटी हॉर्टिकल्चरल एक्टिविटीज की या अदर एग्रीकल्चरल एक्टिविटीज की वो कितनी है?
See, as I said, it's very minimal.
हम्म
However, there are strengths that need to be tapped and explored. So traditionally, it's the crop which grows in abundance is corn or maize, makki, जिसे हम
हम्म
कहते हैं, and makki ka atta is becomes a staple food in the local diet here. We have some paddy growing regions as well. And as I mentioned, Pika nut is a new product which is picking up fast. However, the apple cultivation is being promoted in many parts, and many areas of Surunkot have found it very, uh, productive to actually grow high density apple orchards. Some impact of the success in Shopian has obviously poured out here as well. And in the other parts of the district, like Mendar and Mandi, a lot of traditional vegetables and crops are used. But more specifically, people are their diet as well is more dependent on the milk and milk products, which are reared out of buffaloes and cows. So the production of paneer, khoya, ghee, butter, that is a substantial aspect of our local agri-produce, which is also further exported to other districts and sold ahead.
जब हम बात करते हैं जैसे आपने पहले भी बताया कि आपने बहुत सारी स्कीम्स इम्प्लीमेंट की हैं वहाँ पे डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुंछ में, तो जब हम बात करते हैं जॉब क्रिएशन की या ऐसी कुछ चीजें जो आपको लगता है कि पहले इम्प्लीमेंट हो जानी चाहिए थी लेकिन नहीं हुई जॉब क्रिएशन के हवाले से?
Right. So, for job creation, it's a very tricky thing here because, mm, given the mountainous terrain, a lot of things which are otherwise easily possible in most other places are difficult to implement here. However, that being said, because connectivity is an issue,
हम्म
and not everybody has personal transport. We are actively promoting the use of the people purchasing passenger vehicles to run them as taxis and even for long distance travel. So that has picked up a lot, and especially I would mention the mission youth scheme, namely Mumkin, जिसके तहत we are giving Tata Magics out for 20% subsidy and the rest on even cheaper loan. That has been a huge success here, and many unemployed youth who were otherwise uh, rarely falling into drugs and all have turned to meaningful employment as drivers and of their own passenger vehicles throughout the district. That apart, we have also encouraged PMEGP and REGP,
हम्म
Pradhan Mantri Employment Guarantee Program and Rural Employment Guarantee Program, in a big way for encouraging small scale entrepreneurship through shops. And I'll particularly mention two, three trades which have picked up like anything. For instance, cement block manufacturing. That is one unit where all the people who've opened these factories are youth, and it's very heartening to see. It was almost like a domino effect in the past few months. जैसे हमने कुछ को दिया और उनके successful हो गए तो बाकी भी लग पड़े उसमें. And this was coinciding with the this local construction boom that we've been having in many parts of the district because of the economy doing well in general, and a lot of remittance money as well coming in. Construction has boomed, and that's why the demand for raw material also encouraging these units. Bakery units are one thing which are picking up like anything, because as people are prospering, they are also incorporating bakery items into their diet. So the local demand in every village or town is also increasing. While apart from that, a lot of people are very actively diversifying into local shops which are producing or which are supplying material which are otherwise only in cities. So, for instance, Poonch, Surankot, and Menda would be the only big markets, but now we have smaller markets in places like Mandi, Mankot, etc., which are booming. So, we have given out almost 672 loans in all the outside the city zone areas, and these vary from anything like say mobile phone dealerships to even tailoring shops to even small schools, private schools which people are opening, and this has gone a long way in encouraging or supporting unemployed.
Okay. Uh, what is the current status of tourism sector in district Poonch? Are there like places जहाँ पे tourists जा सकते हैं? Or what is the administration doing about about promoting tourism in the district?
Uh, जी बिल्कुल. See, Punch is always known as Chota Kashmir, and it has been uh, uh, the natural features here have attracted a lot of tourists over the years. Obviously, not the standard mass which comes to Kashmir, but its efforts are to divert a lot of people to Punch. Specifically, ecotourism is, I believe, our mainstay, and we have had apart from the local family groups and all who come here. Uh, the non-local visitors who are coming, they're coming for trekking a lot. And I'm sure you would have heard of the Seven Lakes. And Poonch is actually known as the Valley of Seven Lakes, which are Nandan Sar, Chandan Sar, Bagh Sar, Katori Sar. They are all located in the Baflias region, very close to Pir Ki Gali. And we have had a lot of groups coming from all across the country on trekking expeditions to these groups. In fact, I'm very proud to say that this year, after sustained efforts, we managed to convince India Hikes, uh, that the largest trekking company in the country, to bring their first exploratory trek here. And in fact, three such groups have come. It was a great success that has helped put Poonch on the national trekking map. We are also trying to encourage a lot of trans Peer Panjal trekking. So I'm not sure if you know that you can actually cross over from say Tangmarg to Loran, or from say Dudhpatri or Yusmarg to Loran in just under a day. I mean, it's the most surreal experience, because you're going over the highest trans-Himalayan passes, and you end up in very different locations all through. That part we have some specific tourist spots like the Nandichul waterfall, the Nuri Champ waterfall, which are very, very popular for local people. A lot of people who are driving to Shadra Sharif, they always stop at Nuri Champ. They also make a detour to Nandi Chul as well. More specifically, there are certain shrines and ziyarats which are hosting a lot of pilgrimage tourism, as I would put it. Of course, you would have heard of the Buddha Amarnath Shrine, and the annual yatra around it is picking up very, very strongly every year. In fact, this year it went very successfully, and we had over 1 lakh pilgrims in the yatra from all across the country. That part we have the Baba Saimir Ziara Sharif as well, and this draws a lot of visitors. The daily footfall is more than 1,000 people, and it is growing every year, and more facilities are being added to it. So annual dates and events around these religious places, sites like the Urs or the Yatra, they are being promoted through better facilities for tourists, so that they are able to actually, have a more comfortable time and keep coming back next year. So those are the lines along which we are thinking.
Okay. So can you tell us something about the current status of Punch Fort?
Right. Thank you for the question, and I'm very, pleasantly surprised to hear about it. So the Punch Fort, I'm sure you would have seen in pictures, if not in person, is a 300-old structure, a very large one, located right in the middle of Punch city, and it's actually been the administrative secretariat of the erstwhile Punch state, which was an independent princely kingdom. And in fact, up until 1980, it was used, or rather, many parts of it were used for offices.
Mm.
In terms of continuity, it's been a lived heritage for more than 350 years. And it still houses our tehsil, our district revenue record room. In fact, this record room hosts revenue record scrolls which are going back 200 years. जो एलओसी के उस पार पीओके में जो तहसील्स हैं उनका भी रेवेन्यू रिकॉर्ड हमारे पास ही है, बिकॉज दिस यूज्ड टू बी द सीट, द कैपिटल ऑफ द स्टेट. So places like Bagh, Subnoti, Rawalakot and all, their revenue records also have. While this fort itself has been built over many decades and centuries, it
Mm.
retains a very strong distinctiveness. But given the large size and the fact that it was continually occupied, it's certainly dilapidated and has been severely encroached upon on all sides. Uh, so it's been a personal initiative of mine, because heritage conservation is something I very keenly pursue, that we work towards conserving it. And I'm very happy to share that over the past few months, we've undertaken a very serious and massive demolition drive across the sides of the fort, even though there is a High Court judgment which actually prevents construction. But
Mm.
still, it had cropped up over the years. So we managed to demolish a lot of structures around, which has further enabled every visitor to be able to see the whole fort across from its perimeter. We are trying to actually develop, rather undertake landscaping development of the area around the Punj. That will also involve large visitors park, and further the actual facade of the fort, which is in square feet area, very, very large proportion. We're working out a way to restore the plastering as well as the door frames and the window frames, so that the facade lights up. The interior, again, is a huge challenge. There's no conclusive record of how many halls and rooms we have, frankly. I mean, some say it is more than 1,000 rooms, and it's quite possible, given how large is it. But we are trying to salvage portions of the fort which can be, uh, particularly protected and further utilized. So we are in touch with the Ministry of Culture to pick it up under the scheme for development of concomitant infrastructure. And we're also talking to INTAC if they would wish to declare some parts of the fort as protected.
Okay. Since you mentioned about the records, revenue records, तो I'm sure they are of like great value और उनकी बहुत अहमियत है अपनी जगह. तो क्या आपकी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कोई ऐसा काम कर रही है या ऐसा प्लान कर रही है कि उस रिकॉर्ड को डिजिटाइज किया जाए और उसकी देख रेख जो है वो भी कौन कर रहा है?
जी, इनफैक्ट आप मुझे बताते हुए बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि वो रिकॉर्ड ऑलरेडी डिजिटाइज हो चुका है. आपने
ओके.
DILRMP प्रोग्राम का नाम सुना होगा, डिजिटल इंडिया लैंड रिकॉर्ड मॉडर्नाइजेशन प्रोग्राम, जिसके तहत वी हैव अंडरटेकन 100% scanning and digitization of all the existing revenue records in JNK, and in Punch as well, we have achieved 100% digitization. Uh, Over and above that, we have also saturated the Swamitwa scheme, which was about covering about drone coverage and mapping of Abadi, the areas of the district. So the revenue record in its, for sake of for the content and information that it has been protected. While my efforts are to ensure that the district strong room, the district revenue record room is shifted and protected in a manner so that these ancient, records that we have are archived in a safe and successful manner.
यासीन साहब, आप हमें ये बताइए कि जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुंछ है, ऐसा मतलब मैंने सुना कि ऐसा वहाँ पे जो तीसरा बिजली प्रोजेक्ट जो था सब कॉन्टिनेंट का, वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुंछ में बना था। तो जिसे मैंने ये भी सुना कि आपने रिसेंटली उस जगह को थोड़ा रेनोवेट भी किया है। तो क्या आपकी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के कोई प्लान्स हैं उस प्रोजेक्ट को फिर से रिवाइव करने के?
Okay, so we had this Maharaja era, small or rather micro hydel power project, which was, seeking water out of a pondage structure, and it was using a turbo generator to run, which uh, got clogged, and the whole penstock was built upon and rendered dysfunctional for many years. Uh, जिसको अब हम रिवाइव करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. Interestingly, that powerhouse was enough to provide electricity for the whole Poonch city back then, not just the mini secretariat, but even the houses around. We're talking about a period of exactly 100 years ago. However, अभी फिलहाल उसका कोई नामो निशान नहीं रहा है. So we have for now refurbished the powerhouse, which used to house that turbo turbine. So we've refurbished that for now, and our plan is to eventually restore the canal and obviously the power generation machinery to a dedicated project which Jakeda has promised that the JNK Energy Development Agency has promised that they will be sponsoring. The main issue will be the water source because the stream which used to feed it was cut off as a part of the Indus Water Treaty impact. So that is something which is going to be tricky if we can repurpose the water on the inside the Punch river itself somehow, either through a lift scheme to further feed that pondage. That is the next challenge that we are going to face.
Yasin Saab, the talk abhi tak has been very insightful and very resourceful. I'm sure audiences will be very amazed by the kind of information you have been giving. The last question I'd like to ask is there are two highways, like एक जो है पुंछ टंगमर्ग हाईवे और पुंछ बड़गाम हाईवे. तो क्या हम उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि उन हाईवेज पे जो है काम फ्यूचर में शुरू किया जाएगा? उनका अभी का अगर हम आपसे पूछे कि अभी वो कहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं, उनका स्टेटस क्या है, तो आपका जवाब क्या रहेगा?
There have been proposals at different points of time and taking them up under some road development plan. The Punch Tangmar, link is actually via this place called Gali Angan Patri in the Savjia area of Punch. And this is actually already built by BRO, the Border Roads Organization. It's used as a defense road right now. The track is more or less metalled in most parts, and crossings are possible, but it's not open for civilian traffic as of now. So
Okay.
from here it goes up via Nedia and Jamia Gali, and it further opens up on the Tangmar side. The Punch Padgam link that you're talking about is from Loran side, and that is also known as the Arigam Arizal Road. Arigam is the village on Punch side, and Arizal is the village on Badgam side. And they are also, very easily traversable via the Kharagali Pass. And this is otherwise, as I said, day trek. You can start up in the morning and reach there by late afternoon. But a motorable road survey work has actually not been initiated in a formal manner yet. It has been uh, discussed at various fora, but is awaiting sanction.
यासीन साहब, बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया आपका, आपके टाइम के लिए, और आपने एक बहुत ज़्यादा मालूमात हमें फ़राहम की। नाज़रीन, कश्मीर लाइव कि आज की मुलाकात के इस शुमारे में इतना ही। आपसे फिर मुलाकात होगी। सलाम।